There's a part of personal growth that nobody really prepares you for. It's not the part where you level up, and it's not the breakthrough moment. It's the part right before that, where you start to feel like the old version of you doesn't quite fit anymore. But the new version, that isn't fully here yet either. And if you're in that place right now, that uncomfortable in between, this video is for you. I'm going to share 5 things I'm actively unlearning in this season of my life, and more importantly, the exact shifts that are helping me move through them. Because I think some of these might be keeping you stuck too. If you're new here, I'm Ara, and I help women build quiet confidence and transform their inner critic into their inner coach so they can start living as their future self right now. If that resonates, please hit the subscribe button and join a community of women striving to live their best lives. Okay, so I used to think growth meant becoming more confident, more disciplined, more certain, but something has shifted for me lately. The most meaningful growth that I've experienced recently, it hasn't come from adding anything. It's come from letting go of patterns, of beliefs, and habits I carried for years that I didn't even realize were quietly keeping me small. And here's the interesting part about that kind of growth. It doesn't always feel like progress. It feels like uncertainty, like in between. It can honestly feel a little or a lot disorienting, but I've come to believe that the in between isn't a problem to fix. It's where real transformation actually lives. So today, I want to walk through 5 things that I'm unlearning, and for each one, I'm going to give you something practical, a real shift you can start making even today. Because awareness without a path forward is just frustration, and you deserve more than that. What I'm unlearning. Number 1, the need to have everything figured out. This one has been huge for me. For a long time, I believed I needed clarity before I could move. Like I had to see the whole picture before I could take the first step. And what that led to, if I'm being really honest, was a lot of waiting, a lot of overthinking, a lot of staying in the same place longer than I needed to. And I want to ask you something because I think you might recognize this. Is there something in your life right now that you know you want to do, but you keep telling yourself you just need a little more clarity first, a little more time to plan, a little more certainty before you move? Because here's what I've learned. That feeling of I'm not ready yet almost never goes away on its own. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes from action. So the shift I've been practicing the last couple of years is this. Instead of asking, what's the perfect plan? I ask, what's the one next step I can take today? It's not the whole staircase, just the next step. And then I take it before I feel ready, because the version of you who has the clarity you're waiting for, she became that way by moving, not by waiting. Number 2, over-explaining myself. This one surprised me when I first noticed it. I was constantly explaining my decisions, justifying my choices to people who hadn't even questioned them yet. I was rehearsing entire conversations in this head before they ever happened, and I had to get really honest with myself about where that was coming from. Yeah, it was coming from wanting to be accepted, wanting people to agree, or at the very least, not disapprove. And here's the thing, that's incredibly human, but it's also incredibly exhausting. And more importantly, it's a sign that you're outsourcing your confidence. You're essentially saying, I'll feel okay about this decision once someone else tells me it's okay. And when we do that, we're never really building self-trust. We're just borrowing it. So here's your shift. Before you explain a decision to someone else, I want you to pause and ask yourself, am I sharing this or am I justifying it? If you're sharing because it feels good, because it's exciting, because you want to, go ahead, share away. But if you're explaining because you're waiting for their approval to feel settled, try sitting with your decision quietly first. Just a few moments. Let yourself be the first person who says, this is right for me. Because confidence that has to be confirmed by everyone else, it isn't really confidence yet. You're allowed to be your own first source of it. Okay. Number 3, putting myself last. I want to be gentle with this one because I know it hits close to home for a lot of us. Many of us became really good at taking care of everyone else, making sure everyone is okay, making sure everything is handled, keeping it all together, often at our own expense. And maybe this looks familiar. You say yes when every part of you really wants to say no. You rearrange your schedule around everyone else's needs. You're the person people rely on, but you don't always have that same support in return. And you tell yourself, it's fine, I can handle it. And maybe you can, but the question isn't whether you can handle it. The question is, what is it costing you? Because over time, putting yourself last doesn't just drain your energy, it quietly teaches you that your needs matter less. And that belief, it starts to shape everything. So here's your practical shift. I want to offer this to you. Stop treating your automatic yes like it's a requirement. Before you agree to anything, even small things, give yourself permission to pause. Try this. Let me check my schedule and I'll get back to you. That sentence, it's not rude. It's not selfish. It's a tiny act of self-respect, and it creates space to actually ask yourself, do I want to do this? And then practice asking for what you need without apology attached to it. Not, I'm sorry, but I really need. Just, I need. Because you are allowed to take up space in your own life, not someday, but right now. Number 4, waiting for permission. This one is subtle, but I think it might be the one that's quietly running the show for a lot of us. Waiting for the right time, waiting to feel ready, waiting for someone to validate your idea before you let yourself fully believe in it. And this might show up as, let's see, you have something that you want to do, something that you feel pulled toward, but you keep running it by other people first, or you hold back because no one around you is doing it, or you're waiting until you feel more confident, more prepared, more enough. And I want to say something that took me a long time to really absorb. Nobody is coming to give you permission. There is no moment where the universe taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, buddy, okay, now it's your turn. That moment only happens when you decide it does. So the practice I want to offer you, this one is called self-permission. And it can feel almost too simple, but don't underestimate it. Start saying these things to yourself out loud if you can. I'm allowed to try this. I'm allowed to want this. I'm allowed to go after this, even if it doesn't make sense to everyone else. Because waiting for external permission is really just a way of protecting yourself from the risk of going first. And I understand that. But the life you actually want, it's on the other side of going first. Number 5, listening to my inner critic as truth. This last one, I won't pretend I have it all figured out. This is the one I work with every single day. That voice inside that head that tells you you're not ready, that you're going to fail, that other people can do this, but somehow you can't. And here's what I want you to understand about that voice, because this changed everything for me. Your inner critic, it isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to protect you. It learned at some point that playing small, that's safe, that staying quiet meant not getting hurt, that not trying also means not failing. And it has been faithfully protecting you ever since, even when that protection has become the very thing keeping you stuck. So this shift isn't about silencing that voice or fighting it. It's about learning to work with it a little bit differently. When the critic shows up, try this 3-step response. First, notice it without immediately believing it. Just name it. There's that voice again. Second, question it. Is this actually true? Or is this an old pattern just trying to keep me safe? And third, offer yourself something more honest. Not fake positivity, just something truer. So instead of, I can't do this, it becomes, I'm still learning this. Instead of, who do you think you are? It becomes, I'm someone who is figuring it out. That shift, it's small, but over time, it rewires the way that you see yourself. And that changes everything. So when I look at all 5 of these together, what I see isn't just a list of habits I'm letting go of. What I see is a pattern. Every single one of these things, every single one needing to have it figured out, over explaining, putting myself last, waiting for permission, believing the critic, they all came from the same root. And that's not fully trusting myself. And that's what this season is really about for me. Not becoming a new person. No, I like me, but becoming someone who trusts herself, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain, even when no one else is clapping yet, right? So if you're in a season right now where things feel a little uncertain, a little uncomfortable, maybe even a little messy, I want you to hear this, okay? You don't have to have it all figured out to start trusting yourself more. You really don't. You just have to be willing to practice it. One decision, you don't over explain. One moment you put yourself first. One step you take before you feel really ready. That's how it starts. And I want to know which of these 5 resonated most with you. Drop it in the comments. I genuinely read every single one, and I'd love to hear where you are in your journey. And if this kind of work, building self-trust, quieting that inner critic, stepping into who you're becoming, if that's what you're here for, make sure you're subscribed. This is exactly what we dig into together. I'm so glad you are here. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I will see you guys in the next one.